Hello. So in the recent time, there has been a lot of interest in the GLP-1 receptor agonists like Ozempic. So what are these really going to do? Well, think of it this way that GLP-1, the original molecule, is an incretin. What does that mean? It is a molecule which will cause release of insulin only when there is glucose in the blood. Now, GLP by itself is degraded by DPP-4 and therefore we cannot use GLP itself as a molecule. What we have actually are drugs which are resistant to DPP-4 and that is known as GLP-1 receptor agonist. Classic example is semaglutide. Now what do these drugs really do? One, as I've already said, they are going to cause release of insulin whenever there is a glucose in the system, which means they will reduce the glucose but will not cause a risk of hypoglycemia. Second, they are also going to reduce the secretion of glucagon. What is glucagon doing? Well, that is causing the liver to pump out sugars when you are in the starving phase. We don't want that also to happen. So the sugar level comes down, the output from the hepatic output starts coming down. Third, GLP-1 is also going to decrease the gastric emptying, which means the patient would have satiety early on and would not start feeling hungry again. And that brings me to the fourth mechanism, that they are also going to act on areas of the brain to decrease the appetite. The net effect is that the patient is going to have low sugars, but as the patient eats less, there is also going to be weight loss. But that's not all. There is also something more that is interestingly coming up. Use of these drugs is also helping the renal function. It's also helping protect the cardiac function. So this cardio-renal protective effect is really something to watch out for. We are also seeing more effects of these drugs, especially in patients who are obese and having musculoskeletal issues like osteoarthritis. This is an interesting time to look at these drugs, but we need to be aware of their adverse effects. They are definitely showing a loss of muscle mass. There is a risk of osteoporosis, and also when the patient is known diabetic, other drugs need to be titrated so that the patient does not end up with hypoglycemia, not because of GLP-1 but because of the other drugs. An interesting era in the field of obesity and metabolic health. Read more about it so that you are updated about the latest information.